In the rolling hills of eastern Kentucky, where coal dust still clung to the memories of old mines and the creeks ran clear in spring, lived a boy named Eli Whitaker. Eli was 10 years old when his mama passed. Her name was Clara, and she had been the gentle heart of their little family. She taught 3rd grade at the county elementary school, sang hymns in the Baptist choir on Sundays, and could bake a peach cobbler that made folks drive miles just for a slice. Clara's illness came sudden and fierce. One winter she started coughing, deep and rattling, and by spring the doctor in town said it was lung cancer, likely from years of breathing the air near the old strip mines. Treatments were far away in Lexington, and money was tight. Eli's daddy, Jonah, worked double shifts at the lumber mill to pay the bills, coming home smelling of sawdust and exhaustion. Eli spent afternoons after school at the hospital, holding his mama's thin hand while she told him stories about the mountains and the stars. One night in early May, with dogwoods blooming white outside the window, Clara called Eli close. Her voice was barely a whisper. "Eli, honey, I need you to promise me something." He nodded, tears already starting. "Always carry a lantern," she said. "Not the kind with kerosene, but the kind in your heart. Be kind when it's hard. Help folks even when nobody's watching. Speak the truth, even if your voice shakes. That light will guide you home, no matter how dark the road gets." She pressed a small brass lantern charm into his palm, a gift from her own mama years ago. Then she closed her eyes and didn't open them again. The funeral was on a rainy Saturday. Half the town showed up, bringing casseroles and pies to the little white church. Jonah stood tall in his only suit, but his eyes were hollow. Eli wore the lantern charm on a leather cord around his neck, hidden under his shirt, close to his heart. Afterward, life changed in quiet, painful ways. Jonah drank more in the evenings, staring at the television without seeing it. The house grew messy, dishes piled up, laundry forgotten. Eli learned to cook simple things: scrambled eggs, grilled cheese, canned soup. He kept going to school, but his grades slipped. Friends tried to play with him at recess, but he often sat alone on the swings, feeling the weight of missing her. One fall day, about 6 months after Clara's passing, Eli was walking home from school along the old railroad tracks. The leaves were turning red and gold, and the air smelled like wood smoke. He noticed something glinting in the weeds, an old glass lantern, the kind miners once carried underground. It was dented and dirty, but the glass was intact. Eli picked it up, wiped it on his jacket, and felt a strange tug in his chest, like his mama was speaking to him. He took it home, cleaned it with soap and water, and set it on the kitchen table. That evening Jonah came home late, smelling of whiskey. He saw the lantern and frowned. "Where'd you get that old thing?" "Found it by the tracks," Eli said quietly. Jonah grunted and opened the fridge for a beer. Eli watched him for a moment, then said, "Mama told me to carry a lantern. In my heart." Jonah paused, bottle halfway to his lips. His face softened for the first time in months. "She always did talk pretty," he muttered, but there was no bite in it. He sat down heavily. "I miss her too, son. Every damn day." That was the first night they talked about her without shutting down. Jonah told stories Eli had never heard: how Clara once stood up to the school board when they wanted to cut music classes, how she nursed an injured deer back to health in their backyard. Eli listened, clutching the lantern charm under his shirt. Word spread in the small town that Eli had found an old miner's lantern. Folks remembered the days when lanterns meant safety in the dark mines. One afternoon, old Mr. Hargrove from down the road knocked on their door. He was 80 if he was a day, bent from years underground. "Heard you got yourself a lantern, boy," he said. "Mind if I see it?" Eli brought it out. Mr. Hargrove turned it over in gnarled hands. "This here's a genuine wolf safety lamp. My daddy carried one just like it." His eyes misted. "Dark down there, son. Real dark. That little flame was all that stood between a man and forever." He handed it back. "Keep it polished. Keep it ready. You never know when somebody might need light. Eli took the advice to heart. He cleaned the lantern every week and even found an old battery-powered LED bulb that fit inside so it could glow without fire. He hung it on a hook by the front door. Winter came hard that year. Ice storms knocked out power for days. One night the electricity went out across the holler. Jonah cursed in the dark, fumbling for candles. Eli calmly took down the lantern, switched it on, and set it in the middle of the kitchen table. The soft white light pushed back the shadows. Jonah stared at it, then at his son. "You really are carrying her lantern, ain't you?" Eli nodded. "Trying to." Spring brought new challenges. At school, a new boy named Travis started in Eli's class. Travis was big for 5th grade, angry, and quick with his fists. His own daddy had left years ago, and his mama worked nights at the truck stop. Kids gave Travis a wide berth. One day during recess, Travis shoved a smaller boy, Sammy, off the merry-go-round. Sammy hit the ground hard and started crying. Most kids backed away, but Eli stepped forward. His heart pounded. He was half Travis's size, but he remembered his mama's words. "Leave him alone," Eli said, voice shaking but steady. Travis laughed meanly. "Or what, little orphan boy?" The word stung like a slap. Eli felt tears threaten, but he stood his ground. "Being mean don't make the hurt go away," he said. "It just spreads it around." Travis's face twisted. For a moment it looked like he might swing. Then something shifted. His shoulders slumped. "You don't know nothing about hurt," he muttered, but he walked away. Later that week, Travis's mama got sick, flu turned into pneumonia, and couldn't work. The family fell behind on bills. Word got around that the electric company was threatening to shut them off. Eli overheard teachers talking about it in the lounge. That evening, Eli packed a box, canned goods from the pantry, a loaf of bread he'd learned to bake, some of Clara's old recipe cards his daddy had saved. He put the glowing lantern on top. Jonah raised an eyebrow but didn't stop him. Eli walked the mile to Travis's trailer in the dusk. Travis answered the door, looking suspicious. Eli held out the box. "Mama always said when folks are in the dark, bring light." Travis stared at the lantern, then at Eli. Something cracked in his tough face. He took the box with trembling hands. "Why you doing this? I've been nothing but mean to you." Eli shrugged. "Because somebody's gotta start." Travis didn't say thank you, not then. But the next day at school he sat beside Eli at lunch. Slowly, awkwardly, they became friends. Travis helped Eli with math, Eli helped Travis with reading. When bullies picked on smaller kids, both boys stood up together. Years passed. Eli grew tall and strong, inheriting his daddy's quiet steadiness and his mama's kind heart. Jonah sobered up, started going to church again, even dated a nice widow from the choir. The house filled with laughter once more. When Eli was 16, a massive flood hit the county, worst in decades. Creeks became rivers, roads washed out, families trapped. Power was gone for weeks. The community center became a shelter, but supplies ran low. Eli remembered the lantern. He gathered every working flashlight and lantern in town, borrowed, repaired, cleaned.